For the past century, cherry blossoms have been blooming the same time every year along DC's tidal basin, transforming dark, spindly trees into splashes of bright pastel color. But why?
There are 5 distinct stages that we monitor.
That's Rob DeFeo, Chief Horticulturalist for the Capital Area National Park Service, and the man who determines the peak bloom date for the blossoms every spring. The first stage he monitors is when the buds turn green, which he says actually isn't much of an indicator of time until the bloom. But the second stage is.
The next stage is the florets visible stage. When the florets get visible, we're 16 to 21 days away.
This is when it starts to get interesting. Over the next stages, the florets and then the peduncles extend and... Wait, what exactly is a peduncle?
Peduncular elongation, and that is where the floret is pushing out to the point that we can see the peduncle, which is actually the stem of a cherry, if you will.
The stem of a cherry blossom, that is, because generally trees cultivated for their flowers, like those in DC, don't bear fruit. The next stage is called puffy white, and that comes about 4 to 6 days before the blossoms that everyone loves. But the buds and the blossoms are just reacting to environmental pressures that can delay or speed up the bloom. Temperature, sunlight, and moisture all need to come together to get the flowers to emerge.
The 5 stages are a biological process, and like all biological processes, they go faster when it's warm and slower when it's cold.
Another reason these trees bloom perennially is because 100 years ago, Japan made the bulk of their shipment the hardiest types of trees that could survive Washington winters. But there are hundreds of types of cherry trees in existence. When you stroll under the tidal basin, though, you probably care more about the color of the blossom than the type of the tree. Surprisingly, the crowd-pleasing pink blossoms are not very common outside of cultivation.
The Akabono, which opens as pink and fades to white, that cultivar is not favored anymore because the people like the pink. So what they have done is a cultivar called Afterglow, which opens pink and doesn't fade. And that's what everybody likes. It was not one of the 12 original shipments, and therefore we do not grow it around a tidal basin because it would be inappropriate in a cultural landscape.
To make your own prediction for when that landscape will be bathed in pink and white, you can use the same method Rob DeFeo does, going out and examining the buds yourself.
And the 5 stages is just think of it like a pregnancy. If you were to come home one day and your wife says, I had a baby, and you didn't know she was pregnant, then you're simply not paying any attention.